Yo folks, and welcome to the channel. My name is Bork. In today's video we'll be talking about the latest gacha games and mobile titles coming to March and more. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. First things being Hitman Sniper The Shadows. Now when it comes to this title, it's brought to you by Square Enix. If you've ever wanted to try a Hitman style sort of game, this is the one for you. Just note, I would recommend the console one because this is a toned down version. Essentially all you're going to be doing is using your sniper, take out your foes, and do all the Hitman things. But honestly, there was like multiple ways in the console where you can do like poisons and you can trick people. It's just more than what this is showing. So this is a toned down experience in case you ever wanted to experience Hitman on your mobile front. So feel free to check it out if you like this one. Next thing is Master of Skills. It's entering early access for the month of March. Just note, this is going to be an idle RPG. It's not like AFK Arena. All you have to do here is like essentially you select your skills, you select your characters, go from there, upgrade the individuals that you want to do, upgrades with. And yeah, that's going to be the game. Honestly, it's going to be just a fun title in case you want something a little bit different. Now, Attack on Time. This is going to be a fairly lewd-esque sort of game, if you know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, let's go ahead and show what this gameplay is going to be looking like. There is definitely going to be a certain thing that you can see as soon as we sort of look at the gameplay. Very cutesy style, but most of all, there are going to be plenty of waifus. Now, I know some of you might be turned off like, hey Bork, isn't this a little bit too chibi style? The art's okay. One thing I do have to say though is yeah, it definitely knows its audience and it knows what it's trying to do, where you can essentially focus on certain things. But most of all, I don't recommend pumping any money because the UI for this game instantly tells me it's a cash grab. But in case you want sort of a mobile gacha game where the waifus are pretty nice to look at, then feel free to check this one out. Also, there were some other things that I wanted to look at. So this is the one particular waifu that got my attention. If this doesn't get your attention, I don't know what will. There's plenty of different things to collect in this one. I'm not trying to sell it to you. This video ain't sponsored by them, but all I know is that if you like your waifus, if you're a D-Gen like me, it's a pretty good title. Next thing is going to be Cyber Honey. Now when it comes to this one, going to be your tactical RPGs. There's plenty of voice actors. Voice actors alone, it seems like a pretty stacked like sort of group of people. And not to mention, it's going to be a tactical RPG, mostly like based off of like King Sense and stuff like that. If you like those sort of titles, tactical RPGs, Fire Emblem Heroes sort of style, then I feel like you'll be at home with this one. Next thing is AFK Champion. When it comes to this, it is going to be an AFK Arena clone in some ways, but its art style leaves something to be a little bit more desired. Not to mention, it's a little bit more simplistic in its design. Actually, it's unfair to say. I think this is not like AFK Arena. It just looks like it has AFK elements, but it's probably more of like your idle-ish sort of style. So if you like this one, the month of March is filled with a lot of AFK idle games. Feel free to check this one out. But like I said, the clear winner for me is going to be Cyber Honey because of the designs, the waifus, and all the things. Might be a little bit censored, but you could download the CN one and get like that goodness that you guys saw earlier. Let's go ahead and jump into the next things. It's going to be Bright Memory Mobile. Now when it comes to this one, it's going to be an action first person sort of thing going on here. I guess it's playing off of like the Lara Croft series where it's like treasure hunting and stuff, but honestly it looks kind of okay if you like these sort of more action oriented sort of style games. But for me, it's a little bit too fast paced, and when it comes to this, I'd rather play it on like an actual PC, but you could do that too. The graphics don't have much to be desired, but when it comes to like the action and things going on the screen, definitely seems exciting and there's a lot going on. So if you're into that sort of thing, this one could be something that you could sort of check out. Next thing is the Immortal Mayor. This is going to be a Sims-like sort of phone game. So if you want something like this, feel free to check it out. I just want to keep this in your radar in case you guys want something a little bit more different. And then we also have Immortals Muv-Luv Alternative releasing on March 17th, as you can see right here. And if you don't know what this one is all about, it's going to be like a mech style sort of action RPG. There's going to be plenty of heroes to collect. You're going to be taking out enemies in like this Dynasty Warriors sort of style. To me, it looks pretty cool, and the characters, they look pretty nice to say the least. And I think this game definitely has a budget with the way the design goes. photos and the way the characters look and the action RPG sort of elements. Just note this is only going to be out in JP, but if that gameplay earlier, this one in particular, sort of interested you, I feel like this thing is going to be pretty good to check out, and I don't think they're going to region lock it, at least for the first couple of days. So that's going to be Love right there. And then let's go ahead and look at some Google Play games. So the next one being is Dual Blader Idol Action RPG. This reminds me of like the other Idol game. It has like the Kirito or Black Swordsman sort of dude looking like in it, but this one's going to be more based around waifus. So I guess this is like a clone or sort of an inspiration from it. If you want something more of that style, you know, feel free to check this one out. Like I said, Idols, March, they just kind of go hand in hand. I'm not gonna lie, I sort of like these for like, you know, that chill toned down experience, and maybe I'll look at it in case like something cool happens or if March is a little bit slow. Next thing being is Jade Dynasty New Fantasy. Just note with these titles, like Perfect World Games is like known for releasing a lot of MMORPGs, and this is sort of like a wuxia or martial artist CN inspired sort of game. So if you've ever wanted something like this, I don't think there's a lot of MMOs that look like this that's out in like EN, and you know, Perfect World Games is pretty decent about supporting their MMOs. So if you wanted to try this out, I feel like it's gonna be okay. It's not like the worst MMORPG publisher, but let's go ahead and jump into another thing. It's gonna be Brave Soul Frozen Dungeon. This is gonna be, like I said, another idol inspired game. It is so heavy this month. I guess if you like this art style, you can go for it, but Cyber Honey, no, not Cyber Honey. What is it? Attack on Time is the one that gets my vote. And then we also have another Idol 3D RPG. I'm talking about these like way too much, aren't I? This is gonna be more of like a 3D Maple Story 2 inspired looking sort of game. So if you like this sort of art style, like I said, you have plenty to pick from. Blood Knight right here. And then we also have Dungeon Fighter Mobile. This is going to be having a KR release at March 24th. So if you want to check this one out, it's going to be a pretty great title, I think, just because it's actually going to be a long-standing franchise. And a lot of people really like the Dungeon Fighter series. Kudos to them for releasing March 24th. And then of course, Octopath Traveler gets a date for March 22nd, entering CBT. All right, closed beta testing. It's not going to be the actual release. And if you don't know what Octopath Traveler is, it's going to be an RPG set in like this universe where you can control multiple characters. There's multiple factions. There's gonna be a lot of things going on here. You're probably gonna control a character fighting the baddies that you saw. It's gonna be more story driven than anything. It's not going to be super grindy. It's more of like, hey, you're gonna jump in there. It's gonna be an actual RPG sort of experience. Think about Rebirth of Witch, except more of like in a simpler, more down to earth pixelized format. I really like this one, so I'm really excited to essentially see where this one goes. But that's going to be Octopath Traveler. Probably going to be one of my games when it first released on the Switch. And then, of course, this is gonna be, I'm not sure if it's releasing either in March or later, but I wanna show you guys the gameplay and what this game is all about. So here's gonna be a look at the PvP. Now, I know it's Harry Potter, and some of you might be like, this isn't really anime, it's not what I'm used to. But just note, you can actually move your characters around in this one. You can cast summons, you can actually pick where they're going to summon at. There's a lot of mechanics, it's real time. This is actually a 2v2 situation, so these people are essentially fighting in coherence with each other. I thought it was really cool how the cards were essentially like moving as well. There's a little art there, and this game really did well on its revenue front. I think it's very unique. This has to be one of the more ambitious titles to come to mobile fronts because of the way it sort of presents itself compared to other mobile games that's released previously on Android and on iOS devices. Like, look at what's going on here. There's dragons, there's unicorns, there's essentially people painting, there's little like goblins and cats. It's everything. There's knights. It has everything that would make like a mobile experience pretty good, especially if you had like live commentary. And I feel like it can actually get pretty complicated, especially you can see at the bottom there's like a little meter on like which skills you can cast. So you could probably be like, I want to go more defensive style, or I want to cast like more action oriented. I want to do a little bit more heals. There's positioning going on. You can cast like an invisible aura, as you can see right there. This game, to me, I feel like it has one of the biggest potentials to be a stealth release that could come out of nowhere, and it would actually do really well in our current markets. And if you're wondering who is this brought to you by, it's going to be NetEase and Warner Brothers. Just note it did 228 million in revenue within the first 2 months, and it's been going strong in the CN area. So I can't wait for this essentially release sometime soon, either in the Americas, Europe, and the Oceanic regions. But keep an eye on Harry Potter Magic Awaken. I feel like this is going to be a good title to essentially look out for. And then let's go ahead and start talking about some titles that are going to be upcoming, not releasing in March, but they look pretty cool. We have Nikkei, the goddess of victory. Ether, this character, she essentially got teased out on March 3rd. It's kind of interesting because essentially every single calendar release, they teased this out last time and there was something appearing. So it was just really nice to sort of see. There's some numbers like March 9th that are highlighted in blue. Maybe there's going to be another character drop. Maybe we're going to get some more details on when this game is releasing. Honestly, the art style looks really good and I can't wait to essentially try this one. We got some huge news with Goddess Nikkei of Victory. Closed beta testing has been announced for this game. So the gameplay you are seeing, you are going to be able to try it. This absolutely unique point of view and absolutely stunning looking waifus is finally coming to us in the form of a closed beta test. You heard it here. This is absolutely crazy. So if you actually go to their EN website, CBT registration is now open. This is what I've been waiting for so long. They actually created the EN Twitter. It hasn't been verified yet, but this looks absolutely real so far. I haven't seen anything on the KR site. Just be careful with this one because it was created in December. This EN site, I'm not sure if it's legit, but I am so excited if this is real, if this is actually happening. This has been everything I've been sort of waiting for. Just know I was looking at the KR one. I didn't see any announcements whatsoever. All I saw was essentially that they're going to be doing FGT tasting or CBT testing as well. So hopefully since the KR one is doing CBTs, EN one is also doing CBTs. Actually kind of insane. And like the CEO of the company posted like this entire tweet, which also looks pretty similar to the one that we had in the EN site. So hopefully with all this information, I'm guessing we will have like an EN release. I completed my application. I'll leave links down in the description. I just wanted to talk about this because this has to be one of the craziest things, if not hypest thing that has come to Nikkei when it's been absolutely dark on information. So let's get hyped for Nikkei because this is probably the gacha gonna be one of the best for 2022 if it actually releases, which it says it's gonna be releasing in 2022. So let's go. Then we also have Talked OP having a new trailer. I love how the live 2D looks in this one. I'm really excited for this title whenever it does release. It's an upcoming game. It's not coming out in March, but honestly, the waifus look amazing. The art style looks absolutely stunning, and I really want to get my hooks into this one because it can't come sooner than later. And then here's going to be a Baki. This is going to be a mobile title that's also going to be releasing pre-registration sort of time frame. So if you want to sort of look at this one, it's a pretty cool title. I know a lot of people like the anime, and honestly, if you like this genre, I think it's going to be more action oriented. As you can see here, you're essentially like clicking certain characters and they're going to be fighting an opponent. So probably pretty different from your normal turn-based RPG. Then we have 7 Deadly Sins Origins. No news for this one. Just kind of wanted to keep you guys' minds on it because this is going to be one of the better games coming in 2022. And then not to mention the Kimetsu no Yaiba or Demon Slayer game is going to be probably like a Dynasty Warriors sort of inspired game, but no news on this one. Just keeping my eyes on it. Black Clover Mobile, they were doing like some testing over in the KR region, trying to get a look for like the game, see if everyone's actually able to play it. And we all know this title is probably going to be one of the better ones in 2022, if not 2023, because it looks absolutely stunning. And not to mention Jujutsu Kaisen. There's been a couple of things going on with this one. Most notably, if you actually look at the trailer that they have, there's going to be some new in-game footage that you can sort of look at. And not to mention the movie's coming out. Maybe when the movie releases, the mobile game might come out even sooner. But here's going to be like some more live 2D sort of stuff. Maybe this is how their ults are going to look when they cast certain skills. Honestly speaking, any news on this game, just the way I sort of see it and look at it, I'm really excited because I love the Jujutsu Kaisen series and I cannot wait for the movie to essentially come out. That's going to be in 2022, both movie and mobile title. Then we also have this Black Stella teaser that got announced out of nowhere. I'm not sure what this one is all about. I think it's going to be an RPG of sorts. This was canceled and now it's going to be a re-release for more of a modern day. The time period for this game I believe is 1999. Honestly, the trailer looks pretty cool and I can't say it looks ugly, so I'm waited at bated breath. Here's a look at some of what the characters are going to be looking like. They have pre-registration going on, so keep your eyes out on this one. Then we also have the Full Metal Alchemist sort of series. If you forgot what this game is going to be sort of looking like, I believe it's going to be, you know, like that fighter sort of style games. If you love like the Full Metal Alchemist, you wanted like a fighting style, more of this like highly colorized shading sort of style game, then this one's going to be for you. Honestly, it looks beautiful. But why am I talking about this one? Is there any news to talk about? Yeah, they released some key visuals on how some of the characters are going to be looking. I just wanted to cover it. Honestly, Greed looks absolutely amazing, and so does Sloth. He looks absolutely menacing. And then we have some of like the actual more heroic characters, except for the last one. I won't do any spoilers, but you know what Kim Bradley is essentially if you're a Full Metal Alchemist fan. But honestly, our boy Alex Louis Armstrong looks pretty amazing as well. Muscles all the way. Then we have Alex Fiction Global CBT opening up for applications. So if you wanted to try this game out, it's going to be available as well. If you forgot how this one is going to be looking, it's going to be like your turn-based RPG set in a more futuristic setting. I guess you're going to be helping out the waifus in order to defend their worlds. Honestly, you got to protect that smile at all costs because this game looks absolutely stunning as always. Maybe that's going to be MC right there. And then here's going to be some other news. Jujutsu Kaisen is going to be on Ninjala. If you guys wanted to try out Ninjala, if you have like a Switch, I think that's where Ninjala is at, then feel free to check out this one. Then we have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet announced for November 2022, which I think is really cool because I like the Pokemon series and anything Pokemon related, I'll definitely give a try. Kind of came out of nowhere. It's going to be out in November and the starters look honestly cute. The only one that I really like is the cat, and yeah, because the other ones look kind of goofy, I'm not going to lie. But then Genshin revamped itself to Hoyoverse. So that is going to be March, the upcoming games. Not to mention Elden Ring is amazing. I beat this game, really nice. But if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. I know the month of March is not looking too good, but we got Attack on Time with a bunch of lovely waifus. And I'm sure Bandai or Konami, they'll probably release like some sort of mobile title we won't see coming. There's been a lot of stealth releases out of nowhere. Like, you know, we got the Eden Zero that came out. So hopefully another stealth game release as well. We had My Hero Academia. But anyways, keep your eyes out. I'll be looking out for some hidden titles that'll release throughout the month of March. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.